The Attack on Titan Revolution Update 4 is finally out, and they have posted the full update logs, which I'm going to read through using their Google Doc and try and briefly go through everything as quick as I possibly can and explain what is new in the update while walking you through the content, cosmetics, etc. and stuff that has been added to help you out, as there is a lot to cover. So let's get right into it. Start with the codes. I'll put them on screen here with the rewards, and bear in mind that members 1M and update 4 are both level locked codes, so make sure you're above prestige 1 so you can use them. We'll start inside the hub. Now, for the people that are wondering about the winter theme, I believe, if I'm correct, the update was meant to come around Christmas time, early January. We never really got a major Christmas update, so they included it into this update so we can experience what they would have done. So you got a winter theme 2D lobby, so when you're on the main menu screen, and then if you run around the hub, you'll see tons of different Christmas decorations, snow, presents, Christmas lights. Yeah, the hub looks really good. They've done well with the design. Now, we've also got canes. This will be in the market, in the store area. You can buy them with Robux. However, I would advise otherwise, because the map boosts include extra drops for the canes, and you get them from killing Titans with their elf or the Santa hat on. So the spawn rates, the elf hats have a 20% chance to spawn in, and then the Santa hats have a 4% chance to spawn in, and they give 3 times the amount of candy canes. The drops obviously vary based on difficulty, from 5 to 15 based on which difficulty you have picked. The candy canes can be used to purchase different cosmetics inside the shop, most notably the Cinderlord skin and the Krampus Eren skin, and then obviously the winter crate with a couple of other things in there. Nothing too crazy. The cosmetics do look good though. I'm a big fan of the Krampus and Cinderlord skins. Top tip, the candy canes drop quite a lot inside the missions. For example, the Guard Annie mission that is in this clip, you get around 300 with modifiers on, and then when you do the Colossal raid, if you finish it, complete it, obviously depending on modifiers it varies, but from what I got, which I believe I had Nightmare and Fog on when we completed it, was around 2,900 canes. So quite a lot of canes, so there's no point really spending any Robux on them. You can also use the canes to purchase XP boost, which is always useful, especially with early players that will be just joining Attack on Titan Revolution and need to get to prestige 1 for some of the level locked things, and for those that want to do the Colossal Titan raid, as that is also prestige locked. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about the Colossal raid now, the big part of the update that everyone was kind of excited for. Just a heads up, this raid requires prestige 2 and only has the difficulty aberrant. So anyone below that, anyone that is not a minus up on their equipment slots, they cannot do this raid. Now, I would heavily advise heading into the Attack on Titan Revolution Discord, heading to the aberrant raid section and joining a private server where people are grinding, because this raid is incredibly hard. It is incredibly hard, and I can't fathom enough. If you haven't done it already, you'll never understand until you go in there. You need a team of 8 up that kind of know what they're doing. It is definitely the hardest thing they've added in the game so far, and people are relying on the reduction modifiers, so simple, boring, etc., to actually just complete the raid in general, because it is that difficult. So do not go in there confidently slapping oddball, nightmare, etc. on, unless you have a stacked team with really good builds that knows what they're doing. Now, before anyone hates on how hard the Colossal Titan raid is, I want you to look at it like this. The game has become a really easy bandit beater. Everyone has the meta builds, the Titans shifting makes it super easy to grind, and it eventually gets boring. We didn't have anything that was actually like really difficult. You could argue the female Titan raid was difficult, but it wasn't the hardest thing in the world. I'm glad we have a raid like this, which causes the power scaling to differ, and allows us to work as a community together to involve other people into our missions, involve communication, and hopefully make some friends along the way too that you can grind with, and requires everyone to really bond together to complete the mission for the best drops. Now, let's get into the actual raid itself. The raid has two phases. It has Stall Berthold, or Beetroot should I say, where the Colossal Titan is slowly moving towards the wall, right? Now, behind you, down on the floor, Eren is vulnerable laying on the floor, and Titan spawning going to kill him. So, the teams need to be split. I would advise, if you had a player of 10, I would advise 8 people on the cannons, and 2 stacked either shifters or Helos and Ackerman users down protecting Eren. That's kind of all you need. If you have 2 Annies, for example, you should be more than fine, depending on obviously the modifiers you have on. You have to protect Eren while the Colossal Titan slowly moves towards the wall, and you need to get him down to 50% while keeping Eren alive. During this phase, the Colossal Titan will only be hurt by the cannon, so do not dive headfirst in with your Helos and your abilities, because it does not work. You need to use the cannons. Make sure your aim is perfect. You will know when the damage bar pops up on your screen telling you how much damage you did to him. Then the second phase is defeat Berthold. The Colossal Titan only takes damage from the nape, which is currently, I think, bugged, because if you attack the Colossal Titan's feet as a Titan shifter when he walks, you can deal damage to him. So that will probably be patched, so do not rely on this. You need to find someone that has Helos, Ackerman, etc. that is really good with ODM. I wouldn't advise using Thunder Spears in this raid. Losing it causes complete streak loss. So those guys with 50, 60, 70, 100,000 plus streak, make sure you have a good team before you step in here, because you will lose this streak. Even if you didn't die, you will lose it straight up. Let's move on to the drops now. If you've finally managed to find a team, you finally managed to figure things out, let's move on to the drops to see what you can actually earn from this raid, and is it actually worth it. So you have 4 artifacts in the drop. You've got the Sleeping Mask, which is an epic, which the ability is health regen. You have the Sweater, which goes on your back. It's a legendary, and this is for Thunder Spear range and control. You have the Scorch Cloak, which is a mythic. I really like this artifact. I think it is cool. Does 5% burn damage on all attacks. All burn damage is multiplied by 1.1, and there's a 5 health regen. Then you also have the Colossal Scars. This is an artifact which is going to drastically help your Colossal builds when you get this serum. 15% Colossal Titan stats, an extra shift, minus 20 Awakening Bar drain just for the Colossal Titan, and then Atomic Ascension range is increased by 150 meters. The cosmetics from this raid are the Mushroom Cloud, which is a rare, Superheated, which is a rare, Aspiring Warrior's Attire, which is an epic, and the Atomic Bomb, which is legendary. I really like the Atomic Bomb cosmetic. I use it myself. I think it looks pretty cool. You go and also get the Colossal Shard and the Colossal Serum, which is pretty granted. So that's everything to do with the Colossal Titan raid itself. So let's talk about the Colossal Titan. Has 11 skills and a 5-tier resonance. So the skills will be up on screen, and then the resonance will be up on screen here. Pause for more details. Not a major one, but regiments have had a change. It is no longer based on the Roblox group that you can join, and you can now create a regiment yourself for 25,000 gems. A max level for the regiments are 100, and they have brought along a new currency called silver. This is gained when you play with your regiment members. The more members, the more silver you earn, and you can exchange the silver for honor or regiment XP. The conversion is on screen now. Regiments also have upgrades, whether that's progression upgrades, luck, gold, max members, and synergy. These are on screen now. I think these are really cool additions, and I feel like what they've done with this update is they've forced the community to come together to make groups for grinding, to make the game more enjoyable, which I really like. There is 4 unique ranks inside the regiments, which is Commander, Captain, officer, and recruit. The commander is obviously the owner of the regiment and has permissions over upgrades. The captain is basically like the admin, and the officer is like the co-admin. Recruit obviously has no unique permissions. The regiments also come along with weekly quests, which I think was pretty granted considering there's weekly quests in the game anyway. The market has changed, so we've got 2 new bundles now for people that are just starting out. If you want to spend some Robux to get yourself a head start, the bundles are actually pretty good. There's quite a good deal on. And then obviously we've got new crates. Now, this is where things get interesting. I am a huge fan of these crates. Massive, massive fan. I think they killed it with the cosmetics this update. You have the Anime All-Stars 5 crate, which is based on Naruto. The crate will be on screen now of some of the drops you can get in there. Then you have the Anime All-Stars 6, which is mixed. So it's based on a couple different animes. So you've got Berserk in there. I see Eminence's Shadow in there. I see Miku Miku, Saitama, Goku. I see Asta's Devil Wings and Sword in there. Scout Fashion number 2. I also really like this crate. The Plague Doctor kind of cosmetic is up there with one of my favorites. And I do like the Angel Wings. I want to get them myself. And then Blade Burst 2. Now, I can't comment on this crate as I have nothing from it. However, from the pictures, which they have also changed the look of sword auras, or Thunder Spirit auras, they've changed the picture of them now. All of the icons have changed in the game drastically, so things might look a little different to you remember. But from the look of it, I'm quite pleased with how they look. We also got a new prestige, which is number 5. It is the Captain Prestige, and it adds 2 more free memory slots for Prestige 3 and 5. We have a new mythic support perk, Unwavering Belief. All party members' skill cooldown is reduced by 1.5 to 2 seconds per kill, and the skill cooldown is increased by 2 to 1.5 times. This will probably scale as you upgrade and enhance the perk itself. Staying alongside the market, we have a whole new currency system. It is called Shards. This is calculated by your total gold gained throughout the Waves mission. We will go through the waves after, and the conversion will be 20,000 gold equals 1 shard, and you can also purchase this with Robux. We'll go through one by one on the progression scale what each of these do. So these can be purchased with shards. The Ascendant ticket can be used to level up any Titan skill to the maximum level, which is incredible. This is, I feel like, a blessing for the employed gamers that haven't got time to grind. They are able to progress using these tickets. Lazarite ticket can be used for higher chance of rolling memories. So an epic is a 2%, a rare is a 10%, and a rare 2-star is 40%. And there's also pities for the rare. The pity resets if you get 3 stars or higher on your memories using the prestige scrolls. The Amethyst ticket is also the exact same thing, just higher chances. Then you have the Feathered Bicon artifact. This is, I think, based on Helos. This increases all ODM stats by 10%, 15% dash cooldown reduction, order effects are multiplied by 1.1, and 5 Undying Hero stacks. So if you're making a ODM build, that is going to be ideal for you. The dice are used for rolling the artifact stats. All of them have different abilities, but they all do the exact same thing. So the Gilded dice randomly changes an artifact's substat values. The Astral dice randomly changes an artifact's substat values, while keeping the ratio of stat range from the previous roll. Then the Ascendant dice increases an artifact's substat values by 20% of the substat range. Then the keys are used for perk crafting and perk enhancing, gives the same craft chance as a level 0 perk of the corresponding rarity. They have added a new map, which is the Chapel. This is, if you watch the show, where Rice, the greatest father of all time, kind of resonates, and along that has become a new game mode. The game mode is Waves. The Waves is a odd one to wrap your head around, as it starts at easy. You can't select Aberrant straight away, or severe or hard. It starts straight at easy, and the difficulty increases every 10 waves. The best way to think about the waves game mode at the moment is like a Call of Duty Zombies kind of feel. That's how I kind of got vibes from it. You gain gold every wave and every Titan kill, and a boss spawns every 10 waves. At the start of each wave, a crate is going to spawn somewhere in the map with an icon that will resonate to you, and if you take that crate back to the base, you will gain a passive skill based on rarity. There is also a market, and it allows you to obtain perks, perk crates, artifacts, memories, serums, Titan shards, refreshes every wave unless a user locks a specific item, and it is shared across all players inside the lobby. You can also heal yourself in between the waves, and the cost obviously scales based on how far you are into the waves. You can upgrade the HQ for max HP, regen rate, and you can also revive all dead teammates during the upcoming wave. There is equipment, which allows for upgrading base values, so the durability, the crit chance, the crit damage, unlocking thunder spears, equipping skills, perks, memories, artifacts, blessings, shifting. So you kind of start off like a noob in the waves, and you progress kind of through it to get more overpowered using HQ upgrades and equipment upgrades. There is a blessing machine, which has 70 new passives. Some of them only affect the user, and some of them affect the entire team. They are stackable passives, and they change per wave unless the user locks the blessing. These blessing machine kind of reminds me of like a Pack-a-Punch machine or the Gobblegums. That's the best way to kind of explain it if you're a COD player. I mean, if you've played like Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops, this is kind of the same vibe as that too. When it comes to each wave, you can go to the shop and buy stuff. This is the kind of feel I'm getting for this game mode, and I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to play quite a lot of it. I think it will be fun. It's a good switch up, and they've added a lot of content with this update. So there's some tips for the waves. So the boosts do apply in waves. So the gold increases gold gain, XP increases your perk XP, and luck increases anything related to RNG, so skill crates, blessings, etc. Rarity chances are based on current difficulty. So wherever you are, it's going to be correlating to the rarity chances of your drops. There is an additional setting to apply auto skip waves. That is probably for the more confident players. And for any more detailed explanation on anything to do with the update, you can obviously view their Trello. They've also added a tutorial for the new players. When you start, it will give you the prompt to join the tutorial or skip it for 1,000 gems. There is also a Deus Ex Machina set for ODM and Thunderspear. I do not even know what it looks like yet, but the rates for the drops are 0.3 on hard, 0.9 on severe, and 3% on aberrant. It's kind of the same thing as the Onakiri gear, if you remember that. There is new artifacts for the attack raid, armored raid, and female raid. So every Titan shifter now has specific scars. So any of you who have had a build using these scars in the first place, they are probably going to correlate to the Titan you got them from now and might not work just as much as they used to. So for example, I used to have an attack Titan build. I had to remove my scars as they did not benefit my female Titan build in any way, shape or form. So you have the attack scars, which are a mythic. You have the armored scars, which are also a mythic, and the female scars, and they're basically all the same stats, just different correlations to whatever shifter it's for. There is also a new crystal necklace mythic for the female raid, and there is a warrior's armband mythic for the armored raid. There is new mission cosmetics. Before we used to have like the Wizard Mask or Radiant Headbands, but now we have the Angel's Halo. This is available in any mission in the difficulty Aberrant, and it also replaces Radiant Headband, which has now become unobtainable unless trading. There is the Hardened Shield, which is from the Chapel map, the new map, and it is on hard up difficulty. You have the Altar Chains, which is also from the Chapel map. There has been a lot of balancing changes to families, artifacts, skills, perks, titans, and a lot of stats have been changed. Pretty much everything in the game has been changed, stats wise or quality of life wise, and there is so much to cover that it will be ideal if you read it yourself, which you can head to the Google Doc, which I am using to review the update for you guys to read deeply. However, there is one thing I want to read through, and that is the quality of life changes. Now, big applause for the developers. The quality of life changes are incredible. They have made the game so smooth. The UI is incredible. The new icons are pretty cool. I don't really like the perk icons, but that's blinded by nostalgia stuff. But there are so many things that make it so much easier. One in particular that I'm really proud of is the removed perk limit of 5 on enhancing and 8 on crafting. You can now add as many perks as you want from the rarity it's from to enhance your perks, which is a lot quicker. I'm very pleased with that. They have also added a Game Pass MISC tab in the inventory, which also adds for the trading elements, as you can now trade Game Passes. They've increased maximum item stacks in a trade from 30 to 100, which makes it so much easier when it comes to the big trades when you're trading keys or scrolls for something more expensive. They have new spinning sound effects, new family skill icons, new shifter skill and resonance icons. They look incredible, by the way, and the perk icons are okay. Each raid boss now have unique soundtracks, which is a cool detail, and there is many more. I will put on screen a quick speed through of all of the changes. If you want to slow it down or pause or read, you are free to do so. If you do not want to do that, head over to the Google Doc yourself and you'll be able to read through it. I really appreciate them laying everything out in bullet points, nice and easy to read, to understand what has been changed. They've also added VIP, which is a pre-order Game Pass. It's not fully out yet. I have bought it myself, and when it comes out, I will review it and see if it is worth buying. Okay, that is pretty much everything to do with the update. If you have any questions, you feel free to leave them below, or you can head over to the Attack on Titan Discord into the questions section, and someone will reply to you eventually, although it is ram-packed with questions at the moment, as there is a lot of content to cover. If you want to see any more Attack on Titan Revolution videos, make sure to like or subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. My bad for talking really fast. I tried to cover as much content as possible without making the video too long and too boring. If you would like to join any raids or missions or grinding lobbies, then feel free to drop your Discord username below, and we have a server for that. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful time with the new update.